Thank Roya, I have a question to ask you. This is a question that someone sent on my WhatsApp platform. Akebulan, pay attention. You see, this message was sent to me some time ago. I have lots of messages I opened, and then I saw this one last night. I saw the date, and I saw how the person wrote it. It touched his heart. It also touched me. I say I'm going to reply. Pay attention. The person said, Thank Roya, I am from Nigeria. There's something historically that used to touch my heart. I want you to explain. I said, what is it? What is it? Then he responded. He said, Thank Roya, thank you for responding to my message. Please, I have a question. We were often told that after the Nigeria-Biafra Civil War in 1970, that the Igbos in Nigeria were given 20 pounds. I have a question to ask. If someone had taken stacks of millions of naira from Nigeria to the Biafran location during the war, after the war, the person could still use the money, right? Why didn't some of them do that? Okay, they didn't do that because they never saw the war coming and they could go with only what they could carry, right? And banks closed. But what if some people had done that? They could use the money after the Civil War. As simple as that. Don't you think so, Thank Roya? And then I had to educate him. So it dawned on me that a lot of people might be thinking in that direction. Akebulan, you need to understand something very important. There are 3 things you must understand for you to actually understand what happened in West Africa and Nigeria between those 3 years, 1967 to 1970. Pay attention. I will come down and teach you. Listen. You see, I promised you that I will give you a series of different wars in Africa. I'm going to work on that because right now we have other things in Pan-Africanism that we're trying to teach. But I'm coming on that this July. But let me answer his question. There's a correction I need to point out. First, you must understand that there was nothing like Naira in 1970. Nigeria started using Naira in the year 1973. That was when Nigeria decimalized her currency. That's when Nigeria started using Naira, 1973. Ghana changed our own because before, Ghana was using Ghanaian pound until 1965. Oseje for Kwame Nkrumah changed it to what? Ghanaian cedis. And then when it was overthrown in 1966, later, the currency was printed in new notes in 1967. So now in Nigeria, Naira was introduced in 1973. But then back to the question. Thank Roya, if they stack this money, they could use it after the Civil War. No, listen, even if you are stacked billions of Nigerian pounds in the Biafran geographical location, you could not use it after the Civil War. Why? Pay attention. There are 3 things you must understand. What is that? In 1968, the federal government of Nigeria changed their currency. 2, you must understand the introduction of the Biafran pound. 3, you must understand what is called the post-war 20 pounds banking policy. Let me explain. You see, before the war ended, the Nigerian government embarked on what was called currency war strategy. What is currency war strategy? It is an act of war applied by countries in order to what? Handicap countries that are fighting to have their own freedom within them. What does that mean? Remember, the Biafrans were part of Nigeria. They were all using the Nigerian pounds. Then, the leader of Biafra, which you know as Ojukwu, remember, his father happened to be, if not the richest man in Nigeria at that point. So there's every tendency that Ojukwu had a whole lot of quantity of Nigerian pounds and every other Igbo person in the Biafran location. So what happened? The Nigerian government officially stated, okay, that they are going to change the currency because these people staying in the Biafran location had large quantity of the Nigerian pounds, and there's every tendency they are going to use the money to buy weapons from international markets. So what happened? In order to handicap them, the Nigerian government in 1968, okay, changed her currency notes. So when they changed her currency notes with short notification, the Igbos, the Biafrans, they could not change their currency because they are now in different countries. Do you understand? So when that currency was changed in 1968, even if you had billions of Nigerian pounds stacked in your house in Biafran geographical location, that money became useless because the Bank of Nigeria had changed and printed new currency notes. Do you understand? That is what you call currency war strategy. So those who packed money in their houses in the Biafran, their money became useless. That is why the Biafran government had to print their own currency. That is the introduction of the Biafran pounds in 1968. The same year, the Nigerian government changed her currency in order to affect the Biafrans, so they will not use the money to purchase weapons in the international market. And then you have to understand the post-war 20 pounds banking policy. Those who had their money in the Nigerian bank after the Civil War were all given 20 pounds, irrespective of the money you had. Do you understand? So it's not a matter of you packing money before the war. Even if you stack money in your house, you'll still be affected, because one, they changed the currency, and two, those who had currency in the Bank of Nigeria were also affected by the post-war 20 pounds banking policy. Akebulan, I'll be teaching you series of the Nigerian Biafra Civil War, and then Uganda, okay, and then Sudan. I will teach you so many wars in Africa in Civil War. I'm working on that, okay? But we are going to be starting with Nigeria because I have gotten a whole lot of requests from them. It will be live on different platforms. When I'm done with that live, then I'm going to do documentary on it, okay? What is the essence of it? So you could understood, okay? And then understand what was actually the situation in those days, because the tank crier was there in all part of Akebulan. I teach you with love so that you will embrace one another, so that you will not hate each other based on what we are told. Because the truth is this: you grew up being told to be careful about certain ethnic groups, reason being that's how they behave. You grew up without questioning their stereotypes. By the time you become an adult, those voices cannot be ignored. But the tank crier has come to purge every hate, and I've come to teach every truth. What did I teach you in this video? One, that the federal government of Nigeria in 1968 changed our currency. So those who had billions of Nigerian pounds could not do anything with it because the money became useless. It was called currency war strategy. Akebulan, wisdom